Hey there, English explorers. Think your English is at C1 level? Well, let's put that to the test. But remember, this isn't an official exam, just a super fun challenge to see how sharp your skills are. We've got vocabulary, grammar, listening, and even speaking practice. Ready? Let's go. Let's start with part 1. The multiple choice clause. This task tests your knowledge of collocations, fixed expressions, phrasal verbs, and subtle differences in word meaning. You'll read a short text with 8 gaps. For each gap, you must choose the correct word from 4 options: A, B, C, or D. Here's the text. I'll give you time to look through it first, and then we'll analyze each sentence separately. Sentence 1. Creativity has always been, gap, as a mysterious, almost magical quality. A. Regarded. B. Observed. C. Examined. Or D. Suspected. The correct answer is A. Regarded. To be regarded as means to be considered or thought of in a certain way. For centuries, people believed that inspiration gap from divine sources. A. Erupted. B. Descended. C. Stemmed. Or D. Radiated. The correct answer is C. Stemmed. To stem from means to originate or come from something. But modern science suggests that creativity is in fact a mental skill that can be started and blank, deployed, sharpened, channeled, or acquired. And their answer is B. Sharpened. To sharpen a skill means to improve or refine it. Sentence 4. Psychologists now know that creative thinking can be blank through practice, nurtured, planted, scattered, or withheld. The correct variant is A. Nurtured. It collocates with abstract concepts like creativity and talent. Sentence 5. And certain environments appear to blank creativity more than others. Encourage, neglect, mislead, or dissolve. And the correct answer is only encourage, wherein A collocates naturally with creativity and fits the positive tone. Interestingly, many breakthroughs happen when people are not actively thinking about a problem, a phenomenon known as incubation. So next time you're stuck, go for a walk and blank. Cheer up, give in, clear your head, or snap out. And the correct answer is clear your head, C. To clear your head means to refresh your mind by stepping away from the problem. All right, welcome to part 2 of our C1 test. This one is all about transformations, and it tests your ability to say the same thing in a different way using a specific word. You're given a sentence, a keyword, and you must complete a second sentence, so it means the same, but without changing the keyword. Use between 3 and 6 words. Now, don't worry, I'll explain each one after you try. Let's go. Number 1. Here is your original sentence. I only realized how difficult the exam was after I had taken it. The key word here is dawned. Now, here's the final sentence with a blank. How difficult the exam was after I had taken it. So, I hope you're ready with your answer. Here, the structure we're looking for is it dawned on me. That's a fixed expression. To dawn on someone means you suddenly realize something. This is formal and very C1 level. So your full answer should be, it dawned on me how difficult the exam was after I had taken it. Sentence 2. You're not allowed to speak to the manager under any circumstances. The keyword is circumstances, and now your final sentence is, under no blank to speak to the manager. Take your time to think about the answer. This is an example of inversion. When we start with a negative adverbial like under no circumstances, the sentence needs to be inverted. So instead of saying you're allowed, we say are you allowed? That's very typical in formal writing. So the full version would be under no circumstances are you allowed to speak to the manager. Sentence 3. I didn't expect the final decision to be so disappointing. Keyword, taken. The final sentence is, I blank by how disappointing the final decision was. So, take your time to think about the answer. Here, we use the expression was taken aback by, which means you were surprised, usually in a negative or emotional way. So this sentence becomes, I was taken aback by how disappointing the final decision was. Again, this is great formal English for writing or speaking. Sentence 4. The manager said that the mistake was the employee's responsibility. Keyword, blame. The final sentence is, the manager, gap, the employee. Think about it. Ready? Here we use the verb place. Place the blame on someone. That's the formal version of said it was their fault. So the sentence becomes, the manager placed the blame on the employee. This is very useful for formal reports or academic English. Sentence 5. If he hadn't insulted her, she wouldn't have resigned. Keyword, provoked. The final sentence is, had she not blank, his insult, she wouldn't have resigned. Ready? This one's a bit tricky. You need to say, had she not been provoked by, it's a passive form. To provoke someone means to make someone angry or react strongly. So the sentence becomes, had she not been provoked by his insult, she wouldn't have resigned. Notice how we start the sentence with had she not. This is a conditional inversion again, very C1 style. All right, how many did you get right? If you got 3 or more, you're definitely on your way to mastering C1 grammar and paraphrasing. Now, let's test your grammar and logic with one of the most deceptively difficult parts of the exam, the open-close. This is where you have to fill each gap with one word only, and it's often a small word that carries a big punch. Articles, conjunctions, modals, phrasal verb particles, or prepositions. Today's topic, a myth many of us proudly fall for, the illusion of multitasking. And I guarantee it's going to hit close to home for a lot of you. Take your time to read it, and then we'll go through the answers one by one. Okay, how did that feel? Brutal? Enlightening? Let's break it down together. Number 1, on. We say pride oneself on doing something. That's the fixed collocation. 2, while. Used to describe two actions happening at the same time. 3, in. In fact, is a common expression used for emphasis or contrast. 4, as. You refer to something as something. Get that preposition right. 5, which. This links the previous sentence to the consequence. It's a relative pronoun. 6, for. For this reason is a fixed phrase we use to explain why something is true. 7, does. This one's tricky. We use inversion after not only for emphasis. So it's not only does this improve, and the rest of the sentence. Number 8, at. You're doing all those things at once. That's the standard collocation for simultaneous actions. Got all 8 right? You've got a superior command of grammar and collocations. Even 6 or 7 is an excellent result. This is high C1, C2 territory. Let me know how many you got in the comments. And now it's time for another challenge. And this one's all about your ability to transform words like a pro. You're going to see a short text with several gaps, and next to each gap, you'll get a base word in brackets. Your mission? Use your knowledge of word families like verbs, nouns, adjectives, and adverbs to form the correct word so that the sentence makes perfect sense grammatically and logically. So grab a pen, pause if you need to, and try to complete all 4 gaps. Then I'll walk you through the answers and explain the logic behind each one. Ready? Let's go. Let's check your answers and see how you did. I'll break each one down and explain why it works. Number 1, persistence. This one needs a noun because it's the object of the verb is. What is more important than talent? It's persistence, not persist or persistent. Persistence is the quality of continuing steadily despite difficulty. So that's our correct noun here. Number 2, determination. Again, we need a noun, and the sentence gives us a clue. Individuals who display high levels of blank. The phrase is usually followed by a measurable noun. The correct form of determine here is determination, meaning strong will. Number 3, motivated. Now, this one's tricky. We need an adjective to describe people, so we can't use motivation, which is a noun, or motivate, which is a verb. So the correct answer is motivated, as in even motivated people can struggle. Sounds natural and fits grammatically. Number 4. Here, the base word is resilient, which is an adjective, but we need the noun form here, resilience. This refers to the ability to recover from difficulties, which ties perfectly with the sentence about bouncing back. Welcome to listening part 1. 3 short extracts, each about 1 minute long, featuring 2 or more speakers. After each extract, you'll answer 2 multiple choice questions, A, B, C. Let's begin.
I've always found podcasting freeing. You pick your own niche and audience. But when I started, I never expected it to catch on so quickly. Within weeks, downloads went through the roof.
Exactly. And while that's great, there's also pressure to keep up the momentum. It's one thing to launch, and another to sustain interest.
And here are the questions. Number 1. What surprised the speaker about their podcast? A. The niche they chose. B. How fast it became popular. Or C. The cost of production. What do you think the correct answer is? The answer is B. The first speaker says, "When I started, I never expected it to catch on so quickly." That clearly points to B, the surprising speed of its popularity. Question 2. According to speaker 2, what problem did success bring? A. Financial stress. B. No time to plan episodes. Or C. Pressure to maintain popularity. The second speaker reflects on success bringing pressure to keep up the momentum. That tells us the correct answer is C. The challenge is maintaining popularity. Now you'll hear a discussion between an academic and a journalist about changes in city transport planning. Listen and answer 2 questions.
For decades, cities prioritized car infrastructure, but in recent years, planners have started to shift gears. Many now promote cycling and public transport to reduce congestion.
That's right. And they've realized one size doesn't fit all. What works in Copenhagen might not work in LA, because cultural and geographic factors differ so much.
Let's look at the questions now. 1. What change in urban planning is being discussed? A. More highways. B. Less public transport. Or C. A move towards sustainable transport. The academic says cities are shifting gears towards cycling and public transport. That signals sustainability. So the answer is C. Question 2. What is their view on solutions for city planning? Reward good infrastructure, reuse old buildings, or customize per city? The journalist points out that what works in one city might not work in another due to cultural or geographical factors. That's a clear endorsement of customizing per city, so C is right again. Extract 3. Now you'll hear 2 colleagues talking about a leadership seminar they attended. Answer the next 3 questions.
So, what did you think of the seminar on project leadership last Friday?
Honestly, I went in with pretty low expectations. I mean, I thought it'd be just another generic presentation, but I was pleasantly surprised. The content was solid and actually relevant.
Yeah, I agree. I found the speaker engaging. Not just talking at us, you know. He brought it alive with real-life examples, which made a big difference for me.
True, the case studies helped, but I did feel we didn't get much of a chance to ask questions or discuss ideas. It felt quite rushed toward the end.
Possibly, but at least the session on team dynamics had practical takeaways. I actually jotted down a few ideas we could try in our next meeting.
Same here. I liked how it touched on those interpersonal challenges we deal with all the time. It didn't feel too abstract or removed from what we do.
Definitely more useful than some of the other training days we've had.
Question 1. What does the woman think about the format of the seminar? It didn't allow for enough audience interaction, it was better than she had expected, or it covered too much in a short time. The woman says, we didn't get much chance to ask questions. It felt rushed. This is a clear sign that she found it lacking in interaction, making A correct. Question 2. What aspect of the presentation did the man appreciate the most? The engaging delivery style of the speaker, the practical examples given, or the visual aids used? The man says he brought it alive with real-life examples. That highlights the importance of practical examples, not visuals or style. So, B is the answer. Question 3. What do they agree on regarding the content? A. It lacked clear links to their job roles. B. It was overly technical at times. Or C. It provided useful insights for team management. Both speakers praised the relevance of the content to their teamwork using words like actually relevant and takeaways for team dynamics. So the right answer is C. They agree it was useful for team management. Next is listening part 2. You'll hear a talk by a tech innovator discussing user-focused design. You need to complete the notes with up to 3 words from the audio. Ready? Here we go.
I used to think innovation was about building flashy features, but the real breakthrough came when I realized it's about user needs, about solving problems people actually care about. We created our first beta based on surveys and direct interviews, and we were stunned. 80% of users removed it because it didn't address pain points. That told us something important. No detail is too small when shaping features. After that, we adopted iterative design, where every week we pushed updates and asked users for feedback immediately. Over 3 months, user satisfaction increased by almost 50%. So now, before launching anything, we do at least 2 pilot tests with sample users. It's simple but essential. It shifts the focus from delivering features to delivering solutions.
So, how did you do? Here are the answers. 1. Building flashy features. 2. 80%. 3. No detail is too small. 4. Iterative. 5. Almost 50%. And that's a wrap on the listening section. So, how many answers did you get right? 5 out of 6? Great job! Got 3 or 4? You're on the right track. Keep practicing. Fewer than that, don't worry, it's all part of the learning process. Next up, let's switch gears and put your speaking skills to the test, because true fluency means understanding and communicating confidently in English. So get ready to answer questions, speak at length, and discuss ideas with me as your friendly examiner. Part 1. Now I'm going to give you a topic. You have 1 minute to prepare, and then you should speak for 1 or 2 minutes. Here's your topic. Describe a place you enjoy going to in your free time. You should say where this place is, how often you go there, and what you do there. And explain why you enjoy going there. Take 1 minute to think. You can make notes if you like. Use these phrases to start and organize your response smoothly. To begin with, I'd like to tell you about one of the things I really enjoy is, another reason why I like it is, for instance, a recent time was when ultimately or finally I find it so relaxing because. As you talk, give structure with phrases like firstly, secondly, finally. Provide reasoning and examples. These signal fluency and coherence. So, ready? Speak for 1 or 2 minutes. Go. Great job! Now I will ask you some follow-up questions. Try to discuss the topic in more depth. Use these expressions to expand your views. In my opinion, from my perspective, that depends on. I'm not quite so sure. To introduce nuance. On the one hand, but on the other hand, to show balanced reasoning. For example, to illustrate when giving clear evidence. I quite agree with you, or I'm afraid I disagree, for agreement or disagreement. So, all in all, to sum up, to wrap your answer. Each answer should ideally be extended to 3 to 5 sentences. That means giving opinion, explaining why, and supporting with an example. Let me illustrate what it looks like. For instance, an examiner asks you, why do you think people enjoy traveling to new places? You can say the following. Well, I think many people enjoy traveling because it allows them to experience different cultures. For instance, when I went to Japan, I learned so much about the local traditions and cuisine. It really broadens your perspective, which can be refreshing after spending too much time in one place. Now, here are the questions. Question 1. Do people today have more free time than in the past? Question 2. How do people in your country usually spend their free time? Question 3. Should governments invest in free time activities like parks and museums? Question 4. Do you think technology has changed how people spend their leisure time? So, how did you do? If you aced most of these, you're probably already at a strong C1 level. If not, no worries. Now you know what to work on. Let me know your score in the comments. Whatever it is, the fact that you're here, pushing your limits, means you're on the right path. Progress always starts with showing up. Drop a comment below and tell me how many vocabulary and listening questions did you get right? Which part of the speaking section was the trickiest or the most fun? And hey, if you feel like this test was a little too tough, maybe you're not quite at C1 yet, don't worry. I've also created a Do You Have B2 level test video, and it's the perfect place to build confidence before moving up. So go check that one out next. Or if you want to improve specific skills like grammar, vocabulary, or speaking fluency, I've got other videos to help you with those too. Your English journey doesn't stop here, and I'll be right here with you every step of the way. So hit that like button if you enjoyed the challenge, subscribe if you haven't already, and click on the links at the end of this video to keep learning.